10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Many recognize Kim Jong-kook as the lovable heartthrob singer of the 90s, or the big muscular member of Running Man. However, few people know the hellish challenges he faced in the industry that drove him so hard to succeed. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Midnight Theories, and if you're new here, welcome to Midnight Theories. Today we're covering the heartbreaking story of Kim Jong-kook and the group Turbo, a group that rose to popularity for their catchy dance tunes and difficult choreography. Despite their success, this era marked one of the darkest chapters for the group. Before we begin today's video, I must put out a quick disclaimer. This video will cover the brutal slave contract and abuse case of Turbo. The stories present in this video are alleged and unverified unless stated otherwise. While members of Turbo, Kim Jong-nam, and Mikey have addressed the various mistreatment in multiple interviews and TV appearances, Kim Jong-kook has not directly discussed any physical abuse. With that being said, let's proceed with the video. Many view Kim Jong-kook as the big, buff, fitness-obsessed individual, earning him nicknames like Mr. Capable and Sparta Cook. However, before Kim Jong-kook rose to prominence as a well-known entertainer, he embarked on his journey in the industry at the ripe age of 19, as one half of the renowned duo Turbo, alongside 22-year-old Kim Jong-nam. Driven by his passion for dance from a young age, Kim Jong-nam pursued formal training, majoring in the dance department at his university. However, financial constraints eventually forced him to abandon his studies. So to showcase his talent, he took to the stage at a nightclub called Moonlight, which was a pretty known hotspot among dancers. His breakdancing and popping skills garnered him a level of acclaim within the community, attracting audiences from far and wide to witness his performances. Eventually, he secured a role as a DJ at the nightclub to sustain himself financially, all while making his debut as a dancer in a dance group called Juggleman in 1998, which was pretty similar to Sochajian Boys. But despite his effort, he found it challenging to sustain a livelihood solely through dance, and thus continued to work as a DJ until he was scouted. During the preparation phase for his debut, a fellow trainee who was slated to debut alongside him left the company, jeopardizing his chances of debuting. Desperate for a replacement, he sought out recommendations from an acquaintance at the club, leading him to encounter a young and skinny Kim Jong-kook. At the time, Jungkook was a senior in high school who was involved in his school's dance group and doubling as a vocalist for a rock band. Imagine that. Jungkook asked the young Jungkook if he knew how to sing and dance, prompting Jungkook to showcase his vocal talents. Impressed by his skills, Jungkook wanted to call the CEO right away to sign him, but there was a problem. Jungkook's dancing was not up to par with his vocal abilities. And I know you're probably asking, didn't you just say he was in a dance club? Well, turns out Jungkook explained in an interview that he only joined the club because it was a social gathering for youths who were prone to fighting on campus, so it was more so a delinquent club. Regardless, Jungkook was invited for an official audition with the company. Joo Young-hoon, who cast Jungkook at the audition, said he chose him because he fell in love with his distinctive vocal color, characterized by its ability to hit remarkable high notes and evoke soft, tender, and emotional tones, often compared to that of a woman's voice. Jungkook was hyped about the opportunity. However, his parents were opposed to this venture into the entertainment industry, preferring him to follow his older brother's footsteps and pursue a career in medicine. Despite their resistance, Jungkook remained firm in his ambition to become a singer, commencing preparations for his debut after his high school graduation. The newly informed duo embarked on preparations immediately. However, Jungkook struggled with the choreography. It was said that Jongnam became so frustrated with Jungkook because he couldn't even follow the basic steps. Jungkook has shared in the past that he suffers from scoliosis, a condition that curves your spine, and it's often accompanied by a significant pain. When he was young, he sustained an injury on one of his growth plates, resulting in one leg being shorter than the other. This condition posed a challenge for Jungkook to perform and got worse over time, eventually having to go under surgery to relieve the pain, and it still poses a challenge with him in his day-to-day life. Nonetheless, driven by his determination to debut, Jungkook persevered, dedicating himself to a rigorous practice and mastering the choreography within 15 days. Ultimately, the group adopted the name Turbo, symbolizing their aspiration to endlessly run, dance vigorously, and soar up the music charts with the velocity of a turbo engine. The dance duo released their first album, 280 km per hour speed, in the summer of 1995. The 15-track album was a triple hit, with tracks like My Childhood Dream, Black Cat, and Decisions charting up the charts. Yeah, you heard me right. A 15-track album for their debut. Groups these days can never. Featuring Euro-style dance beats, My Childhood Dream captivates listeners with its infectious melodies, Jungnam's mesmerizing robotic dance moves, and dynamic rapping, and Jungkook's remarkable vocal range. Looking back at their performances, it's almost hard to believe that Jungkook had a hard time learning the choreography. Eventually, all of his hard work would pay off, earning him a nickname, Dance Machine. The album was further promoted with the follow-up tracks, Black Cat and Decisions, making the total promotional period 7 months. During that era, extended promotional periods exceeding 4 months were customary if the album was widely popular. Each track exuded smooth vocals, frenetic choreography, rapid-fire raps, futuristic stage productions, and powerful music that lived up to the group's name. Having already achieved success with My Childhood Dream, Turbo solidified their position with the mega hit Black Cat, a reinvented techno dance club remix of the original Italian children's song, The Black Cat Nero. The track electrified audiences with Jungnam's popping, infectious chorus, and the high-energy flapping cat ear choreography that went along with it. The song successfully expanded Turbo's fandom and skyrocketed their popularity. People of all ages and generations cheerfully sang along. The song continued to stay on the charts that a Christmas remix was also promoted to welcome in the holiday season. Black Cat is still regarded as one of the best K-pop songs to be released, even making it on the Rolling Stone Australia's 100 Greatest Songs in the History of Korean Pop Music at number 71. The song is still loved decades later and has even received a modern twist from groups like ATEEZ and BXB. Their debut marked a resounding commercial triumph as they became the first rookie group to achieve a record of 4 consecutive hits from a single album. Their victory parade began with their first music show win with My Childhood Dream, earning them a coveted spot on SBS TV Songs 20, currently known as SBS Popular Songs. Additionally, they won number 1 with Decisions and won 11 number 1s with Black Cat, for a total of 13 number 1s during their debut. And in terms of album sales, they reached the milestone of 300,000 units sold within the first 2 months, followed by a remarkable surge to 700,000 copies by the end of the year. Black Cat was even used for an ad for a children's orange drink. And the cherry on top, Turbo's stellar achievements culminated in winning the main prize at the Korean Video Album Awards hosted by Daily Sports, alongside the prestigious Popular Singer Award at the KMTV Gayo Daejun. You see, Star Music crafted the group with a simple yet effective formula, pairing an extremely talented singer with a seasoned dancer and rapper. This winning combination ensured a solid foundation, resulting in a recipe for success. Their ascent was only the beginning of a remarkable trajectory that would solidify their status as icons of the era. As Turbo basked in the glow of their debut success, they wasted no time propelling themselves further into the limelight. Just months after concluding their debut promotions, Turbo resurfaced with their second album, New Sensation. Just in time for the summer, this album unleashed a wave of hits, including Twist King, Love Is, and At the Jazz Bar. The album's lead single, Twist King, embodies the essence of summer with its retro surf guitar riffs, sing-along chorus, comical dancing, and playful energy, sampling elements from classics like Wipeout and The Twist. Twist King reignited the twist craze, sparking a dance fever that had crowds clamoring to join in. Both the music and the dance moves look so fun and infectious that it almost looks like the dance moves are inviting you to dance alongside them. Twist King not only became one of the group's most iconic songs, but became one of the most memorable South Korean songs of the 90s. The track dominated various music charts and broadcasts, securing an impressive total of 14 music show wins. Turbo expanded their discography with their follow-up single, Love Is, which samples Nirvana's iconic guitar riff in Smells Like Teen Spirit. Jungkook's dancing only improved as time went on, leading him to challenge himself and choreograph the dance for this track. And like most Turbo songs, the dance moves were so addictive that naturally you follow the moves rather than just listening to the music. The song garnered equal adoration to their previous hits, securing a total of 10 music show wins. While Turbo's hallmark was always their high-energy performances, they possessed a hidden talent, which was their heartfelt ballads. To slow things down, Turbo promoted At a Jazz Bar, a melancholic ballad with a soothing saxophone. Releasing another dance track would have just been predictable, so this was pretty much a nice switch-up. Demonstrating Jungkook's versatility as a vocalist, the song showcased his ability to effortlessly navigate high vocal ranges. Fans were pretty surprised that a dance group like Turbo could deliver such a beautiful slow-tempo song, but despite its potential for top honors, At the Jazz Bar failed to get any awards, perhaps due to the fans' varying enthusiasm for the group's slower-paced music, or the limited duration of this promotional period. Their second album, New Sensation, surpassed the success of their debut, with sales exceeding 800,000 copies within the first 2 months alone, and a staggering total of 1.5 million copies by the end of the year. Following the promotional activities for their second album, Turbo surprised fans with the Christmas album released in November, featuring 10 newish songs. And I say newish just because it contains mostly remixes, including the Christmas remix of Black Cat. Despite having such successful promotional periods in the past, this album wasn't really promoted, and Turbo went MIA, which was unusual compared to their previous 7-month-long promotions. So it was during their promo for their second album that Turbo was nearing their peak of their career. The group was winning major end-of-the-year awards. Dedicated fans reverently trailed their every move. They filled their venues with resounding cheers, and a few times, they ran on stage during the middle of their performances. However, with soaring fame came mounting demands. Their overly ambitious agency packed their schedules with relentless barrage of interviews, appearances, and performances, pushing the boys to their physical limits. Jungkook himself disclosed on an episode of Healing Camp that they were juggling an astonishing 17 schedules in a single day at the peak of their popularity. Adding to the strain, Jungkook revealed on Infinite Challenge's Totoga special that they were often shuttled between locations via plane or helicopter up to 5 times a day during their first album. The sheer intensity of their schedule was exemplified by Turbo's revelation that their car logged a staggering monthly driven distance of 25,000 kilometers. Jungkook said even commercial taxis in Seoul didn't drive this much. Despite the group's second album achieving significant commercial success, it was one of their darkest periods. Allegedly, their main producer, Yoon Il-sang, was notorious for harshly reprimanding or even punishing male singers under his guidance if they failed to make significant progress due to inadequate practice. His intimidating reputation was said to instill fear in young male singers, with rumors circulating that they all shed a tear at least once. In contrast, that the two Turbo members completed the recordings without much backlash. Speculations arose that Yoon refrained from antagonizing the duo due to the rumors linking their agency to gangsters. Oh, and you know those sunglasses the members wore a lot on stage weren't merely a fashion statement or a means to cultivate an air of mystery. They served as a purpose to deliberately conceal their faces. Jungkook revealed that the company coerced him to wear the glasses, citing that his eyes were too small, which made him look ugly. Attempts by the members to remove the sunglasses due to discomfort were met with the agency's threats, saying, "The moment you take off your sunglasses, you'll all be destroyed." The sunglasses eventually became an iconic trademark for the group. Jungkook disclosed that they became so synonymous with the image that he was often more recognizable when wearing them than when not. During the grueling schedule of their second album, and amidst reports of abuse, the members were reportedly hospitalized 3 times within a single month. Their schedules were so brutal that they barely had time to eat, let alone sleep. It was even reported through multiple news articles that the members were collapsing after performances. The abuse reached such alarming levels that Jungnam, overwhelmed by his packed schedule, pled with the CEO for relief. "I have so much schedules that I feel like I'm going to die if this continues. Can't you reduce it just a little bit?" In a chilling response, allegedly, the president ordered his employees to drag the rapper into the basement and subject him to physical violence. Jungnam recounted the harrowing incident where he required hospitalization due to the abuse. He expressed a grim sense of relief that, on such occasions, he was only assaulted with objects like a chair or an ashtray. Allegedly, such brutality was not uncommon within the agency, with reports suggesting that the members were bound with tape, stripped down to their underwear, and subject to beating with shoehorns, leather belts, wooden blocks, iron pipes, as well as bare hands. Shockingly, even when the members were innocent, they were prompted punches and kicks in the face and eyes as a means for the agency employees to, quote, relieve stress. Allegedly, the members were also scolded if they left any food around in the house that the company paid for, ordered extra menu items at restaurants, raised their voices even a little bit, argued with each other, or even did something as trivial as shaking their legs. The agency would take action against such behavior. They were also allegedly verbally assaulted. The members were told, quote, "You guys are dogs," by someone at the company, and they added, "The more you beat them, the more obedient they are, and the more they listen to you. If you leave the company or even report it, I'll have the gangsters beat you up and kill you, including your family." The members were also told that if they were to leave the company would make sure to blacklist them. The relentless abuse, combined with the grueling schedules and demanding choreography, took a toll on their physical well-being, prompting the members to take urgent action. Recognizing that the company would prioritize financial gain over their welfare, the exhausted duo made the difficult decision to flee for months. Their escape occurred shortly after promoting at a jazz bar for just a week on music shows, effectively having the promotion period for the second album and scarcely promoting the Christmas album. This abrupt departure, in stark contrast to their extensive 7-month promotional campaign for their debut album, left Star Music furious, particularly because the duo still had scheduled appearances. In a revealing segment on Infinite Challenge's Totoga special, Turbo disclosed that their decision to flee stemmed from an incident when the agency reprimanded Jungkook for purchasing food for a backup dancer. It was during their period of seclusion that the duo fervently sought a new agency, only to fall victim to a scam. This was so unfortunate because not only were the members forced to overwork to the point of being hospitalized, but they were also not getting paid for their hard work. You would think that all that money coming from the millions of album sales and appearances went towards the members, or at least a nice portion, right? However, that wasn't the case. Star Music employees were rumored to be gangsters, or at least act like some. When the members would perform at events, their money was allegedly stolen by gangsters who would force them to perform at nightclubs or other inappropriate establishments. Baek Chang-ju, the CEO of CJS, was said to be a manager of Turbo, inflicting the abuse. He is also known for being in a 4-year relationship with Jungkook's Running Man co-star, Song Ji-hyo. However, this rumor of him being one of the gangster managers remains unverified. Tension between the members and Star Music reached a boiling point during this tumultuous period. Allegedly, the agency resorted to threats in an attempt to coerce them to return. And when that tactic failed, they purportedly manipulated the media to tarnish their members' reputations. When questioned about these allegations in an interview, Jungkook cryptically remarked that there are powerful individuals that can manipulate public perception. As the situation garnered media attention, rumors swirled regarding the agency's corruption. Consequently, an investigation was launched into the company's practices. On November 28, 1996, the Special Investigation Headquarters of the Seoul District Prosecutor's Office made the significant announcement regarding corruption within the music industry. They revealed that Kwon Sung-sik, the co-CEO of Star Music, was under investigation for allegations of embezzling hundreds of millions of won in profit. It was disclosed that the contractual agreement between the artist and its company was to split 50-50 profit. Shedding light on the dire financial situation at the peak of their popularity, Jungkook revealed on an episode of Problem Son of the Rooftop that he was so financially strapped that he had to resort to riding the public bus. He noted that he could easily blend in, as most people only recognize him if he wore sunglasses. As the investigation delved into the co-CEO's illicit activities, it broadened to encompass other managers and singers within the industry. According to the prosecution, their inquiries revealed that beyond Turbo, other prominent artists had also fallen victim to embezzlement of appearance fees and album sale profits by their managers and affiliated companies. In the case of Turbo, the prosecutors and police conducted search and seizures at the agency. However, the co-CEO allegedly evaded capture, fleeing the scene with only 2 managers being arrested on charges of violence, threats, and misappropriation of profits rightfully owned to Turbo. Despite the purported hostile work environment created by Star Music, Kim Jong-kook eventually returned to the agency after reaching a settlement. He received a down payment of 200,000 won, which today would just be under $300. This amount pales in comparison to the millions of dollars generated by their first 2 albums alone. On an episode of Knowing Brothers, Jungkook disclosed that at the time, this was a lot of money for him. Following a substantial hiatus from the industry, there was anticipation among fans for Turbo's return for their 3rd album. However, excitement turned to disappointment when just a month before the album's scheduled release, a magazine article disclosed that Kim Jong-nam had parted ways with the group due to failure to reach an agreement with the company. Leaving the group had a profound impact on Jong-nam's life, turning it completely upside down. Since he was little, dance had been his entire existence, and relinquishing his passion left him feeling adrift and purposeless. He spent a year in isolation, grappling with this profound loss. To fill the void, he turned to gaming, eventually developing an addiction that consumed him. He revealed on Happy Together 3 that he was playing for around 22 hours a day, often falling asleep at his computer desk. His addiction was so severe that it nearly led to arm paralysis, necessitating hospital treatment. Despite his struggles, the agency made attempts to coax him back, and Jong-nam eventually returned. However, in a different capacity, as an in-house choreographer. After that, he established a dance academy under his own name. Following Jong-nam's departure, Star Music initiated auditions to recruit a new member for Turbo. The company sought someone in their 20s, proficient in rapping, dancing, and above all, possessing an attractive appearance. Approximately 3,500 individuals auditioned for the opportunity to join such a renowned group. In the final stage of auditions, 2 candidates stood out: Mikey, a 17-year-old Korean American displaying remarkable talent, and another individual noted for his striking good looks. Initially, Star Music favored the latter candidate. However, it was Jungkook who successfully persuaded them to prioritize talent over appearance, emphasizing that Turbo's identity as a group centers around talent. At 21 years old, Jungkook made a bold promise that if the 3rd album failed, he would personally assume full financial responsibility. The company was pretty scared about releasing the 3rd album. With over a year absence and the departure of Jong-nam, followed by the introduction of a new member, the pressures of releasing this was immense. But despite the challenges, Jungkook dedicated himself to honing his vocal abilities, even delving into piano and composition studies specifically for this album. In October of 1997, Turbo made their comeback with Born Again, a title that aptly reflected the group's personal journey at the time. Their promotional track, Goodbye Yesterday, was characterized by its upbeat melody, accompanied by lively electronics that underpinned its energetic dance rhythm. While I wanted to like this song as much as their previous releases, Goodbye Yesterday felt more like a Jungkook solo with an occasional hype man ad-libs provided by Mikey. Nonetheless, it garnered significant acclaim. The single secured 10 music show awards, surpassing top idols like H.O.T. and Zetskis, who were promoting around the same time, and received nominations for several major year-end award shows. Mikey's inclusion brought a new wave of fans, expanding the group's audience beyond their previous strong male fan base to include more hormonal teenage girls. The release of Goodbye Yesterday was followed by Forbidden Game and Reminiscence, the latter emerging as one of their biggest hits. Despite some critics suggesting that Turbo's music sounded incomplete and had, quote, lost its edge compared to their earlier releases, the fans' response to the member change and the shift towards the more pop sound was overwhelmingly positive. Contrary to the company's fears, the album's popularity soared to new heights, reaching its peak. Despite the unprecedented economic recession caused by the IMF crisis at the time, the album sold 900,000 copies within less than 2 months and exceeding 1.8 million copies by the end of the year. It was speculated that had the album been released earlier, before the onset recession, sales could have easily surpassed 2 million copies. Prior to the release of their fourth album, Jungkook found himself hospitalized. Reports surfaced indicating that he had been rushed to the emergency room due to a herniated disc, a condition that he had been living with since childhood, but aggravated by the rigorous choreography that strained his back. And on top of that, the excruciating neck and back pain rendered him unable to sleep. When the news of the album being pushed back a month's drop, the public started to speculate that Turbo was initially avoiding competition with H.O.T., who at the time were promoting their third studio album. It's worth noting that, at the time, the public may have not been aware of the severity of Jungkook's condition. Concerned about the circulating rumors, Jungkook himself had addressed rumors.
맞대결을 피하기 위해서 일부러 방송 출연 시기를 늦췄다는 그런 소문도 있었는데요.
예, 아까도 그 구설수에 대해서 그것 때문에 제 방송을 일찍 시작하게 된 거고요. 그리고 어차피 지금 방송 어차피 시작해도 H.O.T랑 오늘도 같이 방송을 하게 되고요. 별로 같이 방송하는 거에는
Despite not making a full recovery, Turbo started appearing on broadcast ahead of schedule, while Jungkook received outpatient treatment. Despite their schedules being delayed by a month, Turbo's success persisted with their next album, Perfect Love, featuring the track I Got a Girlfriend. This marked Turbo's transition away from the hyper-techno club era music towards a more family-friendly synth-pop sound. This song was considered Turbo's, but more specifically, Jungkook's most difficult song vocally, as Jungkook hits a 3-octave series near the end of the song. Jungkook himself said that the song was so hard that he only performed it live once. Unlike previous Turbo songs that emphasize a strong dance, I Got a Girlfriend had a softer and lighter feel, which pleased some of the fans but left others disappointed. Again, this was most likely because of his herniated disc. Despite not reaching the mega hit status as their earlier titles, the song garnered attention, winning a total of 5 music show awards and topping the Korea Film and Music Association Downtown charts for 2 consecutive weeks. Following this, Turbo released X, The Greatest Love, featuring an infectious guitar riff that steered their dance floor style closer to alternative pop. Although Jungnam's absence meant that Turbo's choreography leaned more on the backup dancers, the song still secured 7 wins on music shows, demonstrating Turbo's enduring charting power in the midst of the idol group craze dominating the music scene. The album Perfect Love achieved an impressive sell figure, totaling 1.1 million units. Following the release of this album, the group landed a remarkable opportunity to collaborate with the renowned star Will Smith. In 1998, Smith had recently debuted his first studio album and sought to expand his reach to the Asian market. When visiting Korea, he heard Turbo playing on the streets and suggested they should collab. Smith said he picked Turbo for their musical abilities and unique style, even referring to Kim Jong-kook as Korea's Michael Jackson. The collaboration rose to number 22 on the Billboard Singles Chart and number 1 on the Hot Rap Chart. The members allegedly did not receive any compensation for their contribution because their agency pocketed it. This collaboration marked an even darker period in Turbo's career. Despite the exposure of the company's misconduct the previous year, little changed as the company continued to be led by Kim Kwang-soo, the other co-CEO who had been cleared of charges during the investigation. Around 2000, Kim Kwang-soo became the head CEO after Star Music and his agency GM Planning merged. Even if you're not familiar with Kim Kwang-soo or GM Planning, chances are you encountered them in some other form, as both the company and Kim Kwang-soo have changed their mask over the decades. If you've been following K-pop for some time, the name Kim Kwang-soo might ring a bell. He gained notoriety in the industry for his troubling history and controversies. Numerous former members from his groups have spoken out about the experiences with slave contracts, poor living conditions, financial struggles, and grueling schedules under Kim's management. Former artists like Jo Sung-mo and Kim Jong-kook have revealed the company's threatening tactics, claiming that they were warned of blacklisting if they left the agency. Kim Kwang-soo's reputation in the industry was further solidified when in 2011, he sparked controversy by likening celebrities to, quote, expendable goods. Additionally, the company faced accusations of releasing music by Davichi and SG Wannabe without consent from the current agencies. Additionally, Kim Kwang-soo himself admitted to embezzling billions of won from the company. He also allegedly covered up the truth of the TR bullying scandal and was implicated in the Produce 101 voting manipulation case, resulting in a fine of 10 million won. As you can see, Turbo were not in the best of hands. Mikey spoke out about their grueling schedules, revealing, quote, "The schedules were so crazy and harsh that Jungkook, who was said to have good physical strength, fainted often." Mikey also alleged that they endured abuse, with Jungkook reportedly stepping in to defend Mikey at one point, only to face the burn of the attacks himself. Despite Jungkook's health challenges, promotions were progressing smoothly. However, on the night of December 30th, Jungkook finally reached his breaking point. Turbo had been invited to participate in the Asia Super Concert, representing South Korea. This event aimed to foster cultural exchange and friendship, featuring singers from various Asian countries. On the night, Jungkook faced media criticism for his behavior. Reports surfaced that during his performance, he appeared to lack effort in lip-syncing and neglected to greet the audience. Afterwards, his actions were deemed disrespectful and unprecedented. In response, the Korean Entertainment Producers Association, a collective body of music managers, held an emergency meeting and issued a stern warning to Kim Jong-kook and his agency. It was later revealed that he had an argument with someone from his company backstage before his performance, and as a way to rebel, he acted out. Because of his behavior, he eventually had to hold a press conference and apologize. Despite his apology, the repercussions were severe. As a result, Turbo was banned from performing in Korea for a year. Following the suspension, Turbo made a comeback to showcase what Korea had been missing and dropped their fifth full-length album, Email My Heart, featuring Cyberlover as the title track. The song revolves around online romance via instant messaging, fitting the era of when the internet became more accessible. But again, Turbo couldn't catch a break, as the music video was banned due to its perceived, quote, inappropriateness concerning the dialogue between the two instant messengers. Their follow-up track, Tonight, a solo by Jungkook, was filmed in Compton. Unfortunately, the music video faced a ban as well, this time for featuring gang activity and violence. Additionally, there was a scene involving a car repair during filming, as the owner of the car was Mikey, and the repair was done without his permission. When the car broke down during filming, the agency disclaimed all responsibility. This left Mikey pretty upset, as he couldn't afford to replace the car. Mikey admitted that he had no money because he signed a terrible contract. Reports surfaced that Jungkook ended up using his own money to pay Mikey the rightful amount and even bought him a new car. The album faced tough competition during this promotional period, with powerhouse groups like H.O.T., Zetskis, and Shinhwa also making comebacks, resulting in the title track failing to secure any music show awards. It was sad to see such a powerful group gradually lose its strength. But despite this setback, the album still achieved considerable success, selling a total of 1.1 million copies. In January 2001, Kim Jong-kook decided not to renew his contract with Star Music, leading to Turbo's disbandment. Additionally, Mikey's visa also expired, which made him return to America. Following the news, Jungkook, Mikey, and former member Jongnam held a press conference. Later in June of that same year, Jongnam and Mikey released Turbo History, comprising unreleased tracks, remixes, and past hits. In addition, the title track History featured guest vocalist, model, and singer Harisu instead of Kim Jong-kook. After leaving Turbo, Jungkook faced challenges launching his solo career. One of those hurdles was encountering difficulties in securing composers to write songs for his album. On an episode of Strongheart, he disclosed that when he approached composers, they uncomfortably admitted that they were instructed not to provide songs for him, allegedly by someone from his former agency. This someone was rumored to be Kim Kwang-soo. Unsure of how to proceed, the composer suggested Jungkook should call the individual and seek forgiveness, despite Jungkook not being at fault. When Jungkook finally had the courage to call, he was faced with threats from the other party, who questioned his motives. On the other line, the unnamed person said, "Are you calling me because you feel sorry for yourself?" He revealed that years later, he met up with the same person after becoming more successful. He thought the person was going to apologize for everything he went through back in his Turbo days, but it was actually to ask Jungkook a favor. When he said he couldn't do what he was asked, the other person played the victim and said, "How can you do this to me?" Unable to secure songs from the other composers, Jungkook had to produce his solo album. But yet again, his former agency intervened and prevented him from promoting his album, which ultimately led to its failure. He revealed that at the time, he harbored resentment towards one of the songwriters who contributed to Turbo's first album, but refused to collaborate with him. They reconciled years later, and the songwriter provided Jungkook with one of his most popular songs. Following his first album, Jungkook enjoyed a successful singing career and expanded into variety shows and acting, further elevating his popularity. On the other hand, Mikey faced significant challenges after Turbo's disbandment, battling suicidal thoughts and depression. The idea of never performing again weighed heavily on him, leading to increased anxiety and frequent crying. Ultimately, unable to cope with the severe depression, Mikey sought treatment at a hospital, receiving medication and therapy. He later joined a trio called M3 in 2005, but eventually returned to America, where he pursued a career in the insurance industry. More than a decade had passed since the beloved dance group disbanded. Each former member embarked on their own separate paths, but the disbandment left an emptiness within all three. In 2014, the original duo, Jongnam and Jungkook, reunited for a special performance on Infinite Challenge's Total Gas Special. This event invited popular first-gen artists to perform their iconic hits from the 90s and early 2000s. Then, on January 25th, 2015, Turbo performed again on SBS Inkigayo's 800-episode special. However, this time, Mikey joined Jungkook instead of Jongnam. In celebration of the group's 20th anniversary, all three members reunited for the first time in nearly 15 years. In 2015, Jungkook established his own company, called the Turbo Company, to manage the group. Their comeback album, released on December 21st, featured all three members with the title song, Again, written by popular composer Double Sidekick, who was a fan of Turbo. Despite their nerves about not fitting in with the current groups, Double Sidekick successfully merged Turbo's distinct strong image with the prevailing trends and created a dance hit. Returning to their roots, the group delved into a high-energy dance track, complemented by a futuristic set, Jongnam's iconic dance moves, Mikey's improved rap skills, Jungkook's memorizing voice, and all accented by their trademark sunglasses for that classic Turbo look. The song also featured comedian Yoo Jae-suk, with the music video boasting guest appearances by Lee Kwang-soo and Cha Tae-hyun. And immediately after its release, the title track Again topped the spot on 8 music charts, while other songs also ranked on the top 100, reminiscent of their prime. Just a little personal story. I remember witnessing the reunion stage live at KCON LA in 2016. At the time I didn't know Turbo, but I knew Jungkook from Running Man. Looking back at that memory now, I can't believe I fully didn't appreciate that moment. It feels so iconic to me now knowing their story. On July 25th, 2017, they unveiled their debut mini-album, Turbo Splash, featuring Hot Sugar as the title track. This upbeat and playful pop tune was the perfect fit for the summer season. Similar to the previous music video, featured numerous celebrity cameos from comedians, actors, and singers. There's way too many to count, so it's a fun challenge if you can spot them all. In 2019, it was disclosed that Mikey had secured a job in the United States and has since ceased his participation in Turbo's activities. Additionally, the remaining members have also continued to pursue individual paths, but in the entertainment industry. As Turbo's journey continues, each member embarks on their own unique path, carrying with them the memories of their time together and the enduring legacy of their music. The reunion marked a triumphant comeback, rekindling that spirit of Turbo and reminding fans of the group's timeless appeal. As they forge ahead into the future, Turbo's legacy remains alive, inspiring new generations of fans and forever leaving their mark. Learning Turbo's story and the challenges they face has deepened my admiration and respect for Jungkook and his fellow members. Despite enduring numerous hardships, they persevered and emerged stronger. If you like these kinds of videos, feel free to suggest which artist or topic you'd like me to explore next. And as always, thank you for watching and enjoy your stay.